Sure.
Because I'm in a better place. I had the same wrong things. Like if I see young people going with crazy weights, I tell them, bro, it's not worth it. I paid a fucking price. Everything has a price. And I paid such a crazy price for my shoulder. We went to the gym and you have this, like when you're 16, 17, everybody is like measuring, like you measure your PRs.
Sure.
It's just a game.
Yeah.
And I was like shoulder press, took 40 kilo dumbbells. Like it's 10 years ago. I don't even do that right now.
Sure.
And I just took them. I just say, I will fuck you all. I just fuck you up. Just win in one thing. You know, just put it out. I don't even know how. And crack it, tuck, puff.
Yeah.
Snap shoulder. My shoulder was done. I was working at the office. I need to go home. I was staying 2 weeks at home. I couldn't move my arm like here. I couldn't stay on that. I was done. I was emotionally, I had pain all day. And I went to the doctor and the doctor said, we need to operate your shoulder. We'll never train again. And I was saying, bro, you just want to make money. Fuck yourself. I won't come. I go back. I went back to the gym, trained lightweight and get the muscle to feed. And I took the pain. And I think that is the moment where I say, I don't care. Yeah. Pain is just a feeling and feelings are just come from your mind and you can embrace. Like if you don't give the attention to your mind that is hurt, it can't do anything. Sure. It talks to you, but you don't need to listen. Exactly the people are sitting here. You don't need to listen in that inner voice. No. And I don't. I fucking don't. I don't care.
That's
it's not over until it's over. Like if I'm crawling and I'm that, like my body will stop it. But my mind, I fuck my mind.
Yeah. When you fuck your mind, you use a condom or no?
Fuck that gets straight, fucking nothing. Smash it in.
What's really interesting though and there's two things I want to touch on. Number one, we talked about this idea of people giving opinions. And I think that the greatest opinions in the world are the people that aren't giving their opinions because they're too busy being it. They're too, like, they're willing to give it to you, but you see the people that love to share everything, but meanwhile they're so busy talking about it that they're not actually doing the thing. And so being a walking example is huge. I also love how you talked about you changed your relationship to pain and you changed your relationship to this inner voice. And there's a very interesting book I read years ago called The Untethered Soul. It's by Michael Singer. And what he talks about in one of the chapters is the inner roommate. So imagine you had a roommate living with you at your house that every day told you you weren't good enough, you're ugly, you're fat, you're stupid, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, you should stop, etc. You take that roommate, you take him to the second balcony, and you'd be like Joe Pesci in Casino, you fucking put him over the edge by his feet and say, shut the fuck up. But with our own mind, we've developed this relationship where it's like, it's our mind. This is my mind. These are my thoughts. And we claim them as if they're our own. Like, oh my God, what an opinion that my mind's telling me to stop. Okay, I'll stop. The mind has said that. But when we disassociate with the mind, and the mind's still a tool. There's an analytical component to the mind. If I need to crunch a calculation or figure something out and use problem-solving skills, we can turn the mind on. But all this chatter that's going 24/7, yes, there are practices and there's things that we can talk about where we can start to quiet that voice. But I really like what you said where your mind was telling you a story. It's like constantly reading a book. It's like narrating a book 24/7. And for most of the day, you're just saying, go ahead and tell your story. I'm just not going to listen to it right now. But you can keep telling it. And over time, I think what happens is the chatter starts to stop because anything that's speaking in generally wants to be responded to. So the mind itself is saying, okay, Christian's going to the gym. Christian's exerting himself physically. I'm telling him to stop. I've told him to stop. There's pain here, etc. He's not listening to me. Okay, well, I guess I'll slowly come down. I think what a lot of people need to understand is that the prerequisite to perform something in life isn't waiting for the mind to fully quiet. You'll wait lifetimes. You'll wait multiple incarnations. You're going to keep coming back. But it's with the chatter of the mind for you to still be able to step in and take the action that's going to serve your highest self, right? And that's going to involve resistance. It's going to involve discomfort. It's going to involve uncertainty. And these are all things that we've been conditioned to say. You should be comfortable. Posturepedic pillows, fucking vibrating dildos, all these.
Yeah.
That's what's going on in the background.
Oh yeah, yeah. You got.
But what I'm saying though is that we live in a world today where everybody wants to be so comfortable, where everybody wants everything at the tip of their finger. We want immediate results. We want it now, and more importantly, not only do we want it now, but we want more of it right now.
Yeah.
And then once we get it right now, we still want more. And I always say the archetype that I use for the ego is actually a parasite. Because what's interesting about a parasite is a parasite eats you from the inside out. It keeps feeding and keeps feeding and keeps feeding and keeps feeding. A bear, a wolf, etc. Once it takes the carcass, it moves on to the next thing. But the parasite never leaves. So if we can handle the parasite and start to understand that I can never actually give it enough, we can start to change our relationship to those thoughts that are really keeping us stuck. They're keeping us small, and they're causing us to stay. It's like we want new lives, we have new dreams, we have new aspirations and new ideas, but we want to keep repeating the same old thing. It just doesn't work.
Exactly. They thinking they're doing the same action and waiting for a different result.
Yeah.
And like, how in the world can that be? If you're doing the same thing, the outcome will be the same. You need to change actions. You need to change totally your way. But this is hard to get started. It's like it's hard, and it's hard. Like the fear, we have so much fear, and like also society is run by fear, and every propaganda and everything is based on fear. We had that with COVID. There was fear, and everybody should know that it was fucking scam.
Absolutely.
But there are still people, and it's psychology. It's not bad, but nobody want to say, "Oh, I got wrecked." Nobody wants to say, "Oh shit, I made a wrong decision." They're always be in their mind, nah.
Well, and I think COVID was a prime example, and there's a few things we can touch on where we got to a point in society where we were so willing to relinquish our well-being to entities outside of ourselves that we allowed ourselves as a society to be manipulated and to be controlled. And there's so many different people out there with different health needs and, you know, different desires and different outcomes. And I think when we fully rely on things outside of us to solve our inner world, we're really being quite vulnerable, and there's an ability for us to actually be quite manipulated. And it's interesting too, you brought up the word propaganda, because even sitting here right now, like I was imagining, like, what if we were doing this podcast in 1942? You know, the height of propaganda, right? Where me and you could have met in the street, and your job, based on conditioning, based on propaganda, would be, this guy's Jewish, I have to kill him. Not even because if we started talking, you'd probably be like, oh, actually, you know, I like the guy. Like, you know, we have a lot in common. There's a lot going on. But we can't get beyond the preconditioned narratives that create separation. And we see this happening all over the world today. We see it in Russia and Ukraine. We see it between Palestine and Israel. We see a lot of people are conditioned to say, I'm separate from you. I'm different from you. I don't like you because you're not like me. But beyond that story is actually, we all have so much more in common. We all have a lot of the same thoughts, the limiting beliefs, the defeats, the wars, scars, the wounds, etc. But we can be manipulated by a higher voice if we allow that voice to take over. So the voice of the mind internally, of course, but then all of the extra, you look at the television, what's it doing? It's telling a vision, and you're susceptible to receiving that vision. And now these algorithms have gone a step further where they know exactly what you like. They know how you like it. They know when you want it, and they know how to manipulate your mind. So now you become a victim of the whole fucking illusion. Right? And this illusion back in the day, like if I met you in 1942 and we had a conversation, I highly doubt that you would have hated me, wanted to hurt me, or wanted to kill me. But at the time, this was the message. Hey, if you're Jewish in Europe, you gotta die. You know, it was just the fucking message. And I look at that stuff today and I'm like, with everything that's going on, it should be about people meeting people. There's bad people out there, but I think there's more good people than bad people.
Of course. And like, is there good people? There must be bad people.
Sure.
It's the same way you have a good day and you have a bad day. Because if you only have good days, you would like, if you wouldn't even know what is a bad day. Like,
sure.
There must be balance.
Yeah.
Like life is always about balance. And somebody needs to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
But like there will always be people like that, because some people are just fuck ups. They don't have any character. They're just fucking liars. They're just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would see. It's just, but it's the game. Like it's set it up. Just take it, understand it, and play it right. Don't complain. And usually we are living in the world. We just complain about anything and just change that. What is that? And just like this is the Western world.
Sure.
Like if you come in a conversation, they say, "Oh fuck this weather, fuck this decision." Fucking change. Like 90% of the stuff also on the television, this is just indoctrinated and fake your life, like waste your time. 90% you cannot change it. You cannot affect it. What they do, you cannot affect it. The only thing what you can is your surrounding, how you are, be present in that moment. What you can do, the daily basic things you can change. This is what you need to focus on. But the world wants you to focus on all these trash that you get away from the important things, what really matters, and this is right now. The steps you need to do every single day to get better, get in that position. They want you. And there's so many crazy movies when I was young, I don't even know the names, but there was this movie, I always remember what I think that is in the next 10, 20 years, I don't know, was famous as well. Super fat guys, VR glasses, walking in the game in the real world, super jacked up the guy, talking to a woman, and they got like also every feeling, whatever, and they just play in a different world.
Sure.
And in the real world, they're just super huge fat, eating delivery and everything.
Is that WALL-E?
I don't know.
There's like a Disney movie like that.
I don't fucking know which movie that is, but it pops always up if I come in this conversation. I have this
That's
picture
America.
in my mind. Picture in my It's like crazy.
Yeah.
And also the people when they say